Hello horse friends, and welcome back to The Imperfect Equestrian.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you.
Today what I'm wanting to do is ride JJ in my field. Now I've brought her down to the field that's about an acre, and I do get a little bit worried about riding ground fields. It's just all in my head as usual, but to give me some confidence I've got some tactics today. So the first one is I am leading JJ around the perimeter of this field. Now this is a field that they do often come in to exercise and graze, so she's very familiar with this field, but I feel that by walking around the edge I can assess if there's anything today that she feels concerned with, or an area that she doesn't want to go whilst I'm on the floor. Obviously, as we've said previously, when I'm riding she's not taking confidence from me on the floor, so it can be a little bit of a different situation, and if I'm feeling nervous that can certainly portray to her. But again, it's more for my confidence that we're working today than her confidence. So one of the other tactics I'm going to use to get my confidence in this big open area is, you can probably see around a little bit, we have a lot of obstacles spread out all over the place. I'm going to use the game that we know called Touch It game, where JJ goes to an obstacle and touches it with her nose, and then she receives a treat, either a rest, a scratch, or I have got pockets full of treats today. So before I mount up, I'm just going to remind her of this game on the floor to check that she's remembering it. And the reason I'm using this as a tactic is because in my head I feel safer that she's looking for an obstacle to go to, and they're all not too far away from each other. So I can either pick an obstacle that's very close to me and travel a very short distance, or I can pick one further away if I'm feeling braver and travel a further distance. If I just had a big open area, one, I wouldn't be very focused because I'm not very good at thinking of things to do, and also I would just be worried that she's suddenly going to run from point A to point B, and it would just be playing on my mind. At least with this, I feel that she knows that she's got a task to do, and that with that task it makes me feel safer. So let's go practice it on the ground first. I simply point her towards an obstacle and ask her to stop near it, and when she touches it, good girl, I'll give her a treat. Good girl. We move on to another obstacle and repeat the process. Good girl. Have a sweetie. So the good thing about me doing this on the ground is that I can move a little bit further away from her to more of a position I would be in for riding, maybe. There we are. So the confidence has to be more hers than supported by me. It's also good practice for my driving. Good girl, good girl. Good girl. Let's go to another one. Turn around. Head her ahead of me if I can. Doesn't have to be too far. We're going to head for the yellow and orange cone over there. And I really wanted to get to the point where she's really thinking that this is what we're looking for. We're looking for objects to go put a nose on. Brilliant, straight to it. Good girl. Go to another one. Maybe the white one over there. She's really getting it now. Straight in with the nose. Good girl. There we are. And what I should do is probably not walk straight off from the objects as well. Just else I'll develop a habit of she touches it, has a treat and walks off. Let's go try a jump wing over there. Come on, good girl. Good girl. It's a little bit narrower, so she may not recognise it as an object. Go on, over. Good girl. Stay away a little bit. Yeah, she got it. Well done. Good girl, JJ. One more, and then I think we'll mount up. Really want to look in for it. Good girl. Well done. So that went pretty well. I think we're good to mount up now. Wish me luck. So we're safely on board and we're going to start looking for objects to walk to. Let's pick the white one over here. Head her nose towards it. Ask her to walk forward. See if she stops. Good girl. And I'll give her a sweet. Pick another object. Let's go for the jump wing. See if she picks it. Good girl. Well done. There we are. Sweetie. She's really getting this game now. Let's go a bit further. I'm feeling a bit braver. She seems to be heading straight for it, which gives me confidence. Good girl. Well done. Sweet. So you can see she's behaving really, really well. It's just my own confidence I have to work on, and this really helps me. Good girl. You see how she gets to the object? She smells it and gets a treat and waits for me to ask to go on again. She's even trying to get another treat off that obstacle again. And she walks on. And as I'm getting braver, I can perhaps miss out an obstacle or two and go a longer distance between obstacles. And you can see with this exercise, this side, darling, I'm not having to really ask for too much more forward. She's not being hesitant to go forward. She's quite willing to travel. She knows we're going to go somewhere where there's a treat at the end, so she's very willing. And I'm also not needing to worry about stopping her when we get there. Walk on. Let's go to these blue ones over here. Oh. So that was the first little bit of not defiance but misunderstanding. There we are. Good girl. She was just trying to pick the nearest obstacle to get the easiest treat. To one a bit nearer. And even though I'm travelling short distances, come here, darling, good girl. You can actually see that over the field, I've travelled a good portion of the field now. Let's go this way and go all the way up to the white one at the top. And do you know what? I'm feeling a bit braver. We're going to trot. Good girl. She's veering off a bit, but I show her the obstacle. Come back to a walk. There we are. And she's found it. Good girl. Find another obstacle. There we are. Darling, good girl. Okay, well, she opted to go past that one, so I'll let her, and we'll go up to the jump wing again. Oh, we're missing it. So this is where I really point a nose towards it and say, this is the task we've got here. She's circling. I need her to come around and really focus on that. There we go. So she needed quite a lot of help with that one then. Good girl. Make sure she gets a treat so she appreciates being there with it. Good girl, she was waiting. So I think when I had a trot a minute ago, it's perhaps just brought her life up a little bit. And this is the kind of stuff that makes me nervous. Just slight deviations Good girl. On what you would expect from a very quiet horse. So don't forget, a rest and a scratch can also be a reward. Good girl. There we are. Good girl. So when she goes past one, really point her towards it. Let her settle at the object, and then we'll give her a treat as a reward this time. Again, feeling a bit braver, so I'm going to go to the further one away. Good girl. So now I've come all the way down to the bottom of the field. I'm quite close to the fence line. And we just continue like this, either picking objects or missing objects, or we can choose to trot. Good girl. So she's quite forward, and she's saying, which object are we going to? Oh, she's a bit confused, so she thought she'd come back to a walk. That's all right. I feel safe for the walk. There we are. So it took her longer to touch that obstacle because her life came up with the trot then. So you see, this is why we need to practice at different gaits as well. Perhaps trot to this one if we can. Because as her life comes up, she might not be so willing to stop. Wait for her to touch it. Good girl. So at the minute, I'm not comfortable cantering unless I'm in an arena. But we do trot, so now she's missed that one. So I'm going to go around. I could go back to it, but I'm going to go find an alternative. So when things do go wrong like that, then don't panic. Just look for your next obstacle. If you can circle them back on the original obstacle, that's great. But if you feel tension coming in and it's making you tense, which it was making me tense, or you feel tension for her because you're pulling her tighter, then just redivert somewhere else. The plan can change, it's fine. We can also let her wait here a bit longer, let some of that adrenaline come down. The trotting, you see how the trotting's made a difference. She's not quite looking quite so much at the obstacle, she just wants to rush around a bit. And if I didn't have any obstacles in the field, that would be making me really, really nervous now. But because I've got a bit of a plan, so when she's feeling panicky and rushy to me, I'm like, find an obstacle. It makes me feel safer. So I kind of feel with walking at the moment that I could miss most of the obstacles here now and do a bit of a circle around the area. If she starts feeling too out of control or anything, I'll just find an obstacle. Now she's overshot that. There we are. I really wanted to know it's about the obstacle, so we'll wait a minute. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. And give her lots of praise when she gets it. So as her adrenaline comes up, food becomes less important. So we need to look for other senses to feel comfortable. So resting at an area, things like that. Comfort and security, safety. That's what she wants. But the less adrenaline she has, the more food orientated she is. Let's try and walk around a bit of a windy route again, and then we'll find an obstacle. So I'm not necessarily heading at an obstacle right now. Just going to go up. Whoop. Now I didn't ask for the trot, so I pull that back down. If she trotted uncontrollably, I would have just found an obstacle. I'm going to walk around, and I think we're going to head for the big white block. There we go. So I really need to get up my confidence for riding in a field, because as you'll probably notice as we walk around, we don't have much schooling behind us, and because we don't often get access to an arena, we don't get time to do the schooling. And when we're out on the lanes, there's a natural barrier with the sides of the road that helps her go forward and stay more or less straight. So you can see as we're going around the field, because she's got no schooling education as such, that we get very windy and things, and that's not necessarily her really playing up, it's just a lack of experience. And we need to be able to ride in the field to get more experience in just walking around in nice straight lines, doing circles, maybe some serpentines, but being able to follow direction more to where I'd like her to go. So again, I'm off, I'm just walking, and I'm going to try and do almost a serpentine type shape around this obstacle here. Come in front of the cone over here. Woo! And then go back to the other cone over behind it. So it's not pretty, the shape. We're walking all over the place, trying to use my legs and the reins, but you see there's a lot of misunderstanding going on. But that's why we need to practice. And we found the object, and we found security. So I could maybe I'll try a circle around this red one here. So looking at where I'm going, trying to shape around. She's rushing a bit and putting her shoulder out. I've got my leg on near her shoulder a bit. Go. Walk on. So it's not very circly, but this is how things look when you're starting to do schooling. Now she's done a full lap round, we'll go to an obstacle and she can rest there. There we are. Good girl. So you can see the principles of how this is building up confidence for me. I have safe places to go to that I feel that she will stop at if I direct her there, or at least gives me enough focus to stop her at those obstacles if she is feeling a bit more forward. And also how we can incorporate, although not very well today as you saw, but we can incorporate perhaps some minor schooling principles, or shapes and straight lines between places, to help her start to understand how we want her to follow our direction. None of it's going to be pretty to start with, but it gives us a safe area to start, and eventually I can lose the obstacles, she'll get more easier to guide around, and we'll be doing lovely dressage, I'm sure, not quite, but maybe, in this large open field here. Thanks for watching. Perhaps you could give me some more ideas about how you feel safer riding in large open areas. Until next time, we'll see you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already following us. See you later. Bye.